Welcome back to another DASSBEAR mod spotlight. In today's video, we're going to be spotlighting 4 different mods by the same modder. First up, we have the Chaos Dwarfs Dawi-Zharr Whirlwinds and the Dawi Daemachinas. Next up, we have the Dwarf faction. We have the Dawi Gunships and the Dawi Rune Golems. As always, guys, I'm super excited to show these off, and the link to all of these mods will be down in the description for you to check out. First up, we're going to be looking at the Chaos Dwarf Air units here. We have the multi-barrel Whirlwind. Obviously, I love the look of these guys. The black and gold just looks really good, and I like that it comes as a 3-pack unit. Overall, it looks like they're really fun to play with. I like the stats on them. They might be a little overpowered, though, just a little bit, especially compared to the dwarf counterparts. But overall, it's still really solid. We're now moving on to the second unit, and as you can see, it is very similar to the first unit, other than the weapon system really just changing out on it. You can say it's replaced out those multi-barrel cannons to these larger caliber single cannons on each side. Again, though, looks really good. Not as visually appealing in combat compared to the other unit, but it's really good, and it has a harder hitting round, so I could see this being very, very useful in your next Chaos Dwarf campaign. Okay, these whirlwinds right here, the bombers, whew, man, they do some damage. This was a really great unit. Visually, when I seen this, I didn't think it was going to be that impressive, but I really like using this as a bomber unit. Just tore the infantry apart. It's a great unit that I could really see myself using this one in combat quite a bit. Missile strength is lower, but for some reason, I just thought it did really great work against the enemy units. Another really great air unit here, we have the Whirlwind Flamers. As you can see, their blast, it shoots a liquid hot flame across the map. These are great. This is another one of these units that just really would be extremely useful in your campaigns and your battles. Just overall, you can tell it's a more expensive unit. It's a better unit. The tier's higher. Great work to the modder on this. And overall, I've really enjoyed them aesthetically as well in combat. This one right here, this was probably one of my least, the lower favorite. For it being a high tier unit, I just didn't really care for the rockets. Maybe just me. I just feel like I would probably use the flamers or the bombers more, or just the regular versions more than this. But again, all of these probably serve their purpose. So yeah, I just personally, this would not be one of my top choices for putting in my army, but I do like it. I do like this different, and I do like the look of it looks really good with the weapon system. Say goodbye to the Chaos Dwarf Air Force and say hello to the Dwarf Air Force. We have the gunships. I like the design on all these gunships. I like that there's actually infantry playing their role inside the gunship. This is the rifle version right here, and it looks good. You can actually see them individually fire and take out Chaos Dwarf units. Great mod design, great look to them. Just overall, really big fan, and I like the pilot. The pilot up there looks awesome. If you didn't like the low fire rate of the gunship with rifles, the gunship with shotguns seems to do a lot better in my opinion. The rifle one is really the lowest tier option. I really feel like that this is the better choice every time. It does spread damage. Plus shotguns shooting from a helicopter, that's just awesome. All of these do have a front cannon as well. Compared to the Chaos Dwarf version, which has front Gatlings, these have a front cannon. My third favorite unit here, we have the gunships with light crank guns. Just giving these guys like Gatling guns and putting them on the side of a helicopter, just like, I don't know, that just is the most military thing ever. I just really love it. Just the idea behind it, the look of it, and you'll see why on the next unit, why this is my third favorite one out of the Air Force. Let me know down in the comments if you think any of these units are overpowered. We are now at my second favorite unit for the Dwarf Air Force, and very similar to the last unit, except for the only difference is the weapon. We have the heavy crank guns. So it's pretty much just a heavy machine gun shooting out the sides of this thing. I just think these are they do their job in combat, but also they're very immersive whenever you're fighting a battle and you just have helicopters flying over above, shooting down with machine guns. It just looks cool. And this was my favorite gunship, probably not the one that deals out the most damage in its DPS per second, but I've got to say I like just how this unit looks and the fact that it just fires 2 big napalm rounds out each side, and it just does damage, just fire damage. Overall, I just like the idea of it, and it's the closest I'm getting probably to a napalm bomber for the dwarves. So yeah, it's great. And the last one here, we have the gunship rocket barrage. Probably similar to the Chaos Dwarfs. I'm just not a big fan of rockets, I guess, or maybe not small ones. So yeah, this is probably something I would not pick compared to the others. I would definitely be rocking the napalm bombers and the light crank and heavy crank gun variants, or the shotgun variant way before this one. But still though, I mean, if you like it, you like it, you know? With the Air Force for both factions complete, we are now diving back into the ground units for the Chaos Dwarfs. We have the Ash Fiend Cannon. It's a siege monster. Pretty much these are like dogs, like hounds, but with all machine, and they have a giant cannon on their back. So they have ranged fire. I like this unit the most. Probably my second favorite unit in this section. They did a great job in my opinion. This is the higher tier version, the Ash Fiend Flamer, but I really did not like these as much. I don't like how their firing effect looks. I feel like they're less accurate. Maybe I'm wrong, I just feel like I would pick the first one more than this one every time. And who knows, I could be completely wrong. Maybe what I seen was just a fluke thing, and I'm wrong about these, and they are better across the board. But I just feel like the first unit is a better option for me. The Dawi Strider, man, this unit at range, it's okay, but it's so goofy in melee combat. Both this one and the next one, they're just hilarious to watch in melee. But their range fire is actually pretty good. This one's like a normal level of range fire, and they do have a spell called Focus Strike where it bombards it with, looks like rockets to hit the ground, and it's a really good spell in my opinion. The Dawi Inferno. Now this one, okay, I've got to say, this one's so overpowered at range, it's crazy. Its shot hits, and then a cluster of other explosions come off of it. It's so strong, it's ridiculous. But just like the other one, I mean, it's pretty much a higher tier version. It does have an enhanced Focus Strike, which is just a better version of the spell. And overall, these things, again, are super goofy to watch in melee combat. It was hilarious watching this. We are now at the ground forces for the dwarf faction. We have the golems. The first one we're going to look at up here is the Rune Golem with cannon. It is the only ranged golem here, and I've got to say it did okay. I mean, its range fire is not like crazy, but it's a nice addition to the dwarfs. Doesn't seem to be too powerful at range. You know, in my opinion, enemy units would take damage, but they wouldn't be completely destroyed trying to close in on this thing. But stats are high across the board for it. We're now at the Rune Golem with a great axe, and I've got to say, the fact that they are like so unmoving whenever you're looking at them and standing like just normal animation, when they're in combat and they take out a unit, man, it looks personal. Like it looks like it's a personal grudge against whatever unit it's trying to hit. I mean, it just obliterates whatever it hits, it's really great to watch though. I mean, it's fantastic. I like the axe on the hand, love the design. Definitely could use this in all my dwarf armies. You don't want an axe on each hand? Okay, then you can have a hammer on each hand. We have the Rune Golem with great hammer. So yeah, instead of having two axes, it has two hammers. A lot of the same exact animations, pretty much the same unit really, except for a different weapon type here and a little bit different stats. But it's the same thing, pretty much. You're just switching out the weapon. I've got to say though, I do like the hammers on this. I do like the differences. I mean, it looks really good. I mean, this looks very dwarf. Okay, we're starting to change it up a little bit here. We're at the Rune Golem with a Rune Staff. Now, this Golem here has runes that can buff units nearby, like Runes of Speed, Slowness, Rune of Breaking. So it has the ability to either buff or debuff enemies. So there are some advantages to this, and it's a great support unit, or support monster. We're now at the Rune Golem of Karak-Zorn, and as you see here in a minute, it's extremely huge. This thing is massive. It has a lot of the boosting runes to boost enemy units, your units, or debuff enemy units. It also has 3 runes that do damage. The Rune of Flight sends out axes. Rune of Emulation makes a explosion around, and the Wrath of Rune makes an explosion as well. So you have some options for some damaging runes. Hey guys, I just want to say a massive thank you for watching all the way to the end. Pretty much this spotlighted all 4 mods. As always, I will be putting the links to all the mods down in the description for you to go check out. This was fun to make. I really enjoyed it. And let me know what you think about these mods down in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, and I will catch everyone next time in the next mod spotlight.